Spirit guides, ancestors, archangels of light, I ask for your guidance. Help me pull the cards that you want to be seen tonight. Some of the full moon energy into this reading. Ancestors, archangels, spirit guides of the light. What do you want us to know tonight? Ancestors, archangels, spirit guides of the light. Please help me. Pull the cards that you want. Archangels, spirit guides, ancestors of the light. What's up? What's the matter?
Can I plug in my phone and get my other one?
Hurry up.
I'm always quick. That's what I do. I switch.
Kaylee, shush. Okay, so our current energy, the Ace of Cups. This card is describing a gift from the universe. With cups, you know, that's our emotions, our emotional side, imagination, feelings, love. So the universe is offering us a gift from the heart, or for the heart, maybe a gift of love. It could just be a balancing of your own emotions. What is affecting the current energy is the Wheel of Fortune, which is describing luck, but it could mean good or bad luck. It's a karmic wheel. Your decisions and your choices affect whether or not that's good luck or bad luck. And then we have the Seven of Cups, right? And that is what you're currently conscious of. And that means that card means, options. Good and bad options. Not all of the cups are good, but not all the cups are bad. Different options, different choices. Could mean opportunity, and all that glitters isn't gold. Okay, so that's what you're conscious of. You know that there are many options. You know that there's many considerations to take into the situation, like weighing your options. You know all about this. Can you please take that squeaky toy away? And then, in your subconscious, you have the Lover's card. This is everything that you are unconscious about. The Lover's card shows Adam and Eve. It shows the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It shows the burning bush. It shows the divine. It shows a huge bright sun that is literally like filling the sky. This card can mean, it also shows the serpent. And this card can mean collaboration. It can mean contracts, working with somebody else, sharing ideas, trusting somebody. And the thing I like most about this card is, yes, Eve ate from the tree of good and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, but what I take from that is she gained so much more knowledge, even though she did something that she was told not to do. Her maker didn't disown her, but simply said, well, now that you have done the thing that I asked you not to do, or at least warned you against, now, I still love you. You're still made in my image, but now there's a lot of hard work that goes into your life. Now you have to go inside yourself and figure out why you've done this thing. And you also gain a certain amount of knowledge, like the fact that you're naked, and the fact that I am your creator, and the fact that there is this knowledge of good and evil now that you have. And so, this being our subconscious that we don't quite know is there yet, it could mean that, there is some kind of love in your future. It could mean you're going to end up working with somebody else or collaborating on something. It could mean that you need to trust somebody, or you need to trust yourself. It could mean like you need to go inside and do your shadow work in order to gain knowledge of, maybe why you continuously do a certain thing in your love relationships, and that could stem back to a certain trauma that you had while you were a child. Leah, please stay in there and play. No, you can't come in right now. Go on. Basically, this card is like you can no longer live in a blissful unknowingness now that you know what good and evil is, now you have to do the hard work to change your behavior to no longer attract the bad karma or bad luck in order to change your future. That's your subconscious. That's what you don't quite know yet. Oh, goodness. And then we have the Page of Cups in our near past. If you think of the Page, Knight, Queen, and King as a family, the Page would be the young child and the Knight would be like the teenager, right? So obviously young children have waves of emotion or bursts of emotions, right? Like 1 second they're happy, the next they're angry, the next they're sad. You never quite know where their emotions are gonna lie in different parts of the day. So he's a child. He's still new to everything. He's still trying to grasp what everything is, right? He's trying to figure out what his emotions are in order to even be able to control them in the first place. So he's looking at his cup with curiosity, with a newness to everything, with the waves of emotion in the background. He's trying to figure out how to manifest, or even what manifestation is, right? That's your near past. You didn't quite know exactly everything there was to know because you're still new to it all. You're still a child, right? And you were just trying to figure everything out in order to be able to do anything in the first place. And then we have our near future being the Strength in reverse, okay? And a lot of these cards were in my last reading. So, the Strength in reverse. Well, we'll start out with the Strength regularly. Means taming yourself, taming your inner self, figuring out what it is that makes you tick and being able to conquer it, to know exactly why you do the type of things you do in your life in order to manifest different things, right? Because say you're in a relationship and you don't like to open up, right? Because you're scared and you never open up in this relationship and your partner can never know you and basically it doesn't work out. So you guys break up and you go to a new relationship and guess what? You still are finding it hard to open up and trust your partner. And they can't know you because you are not opening up. And basically that relationship fails and you break up and you go on to the next relationship. If you never figure out why it is that you're having a hard time opening up and trusting your partner, you're going to keep doing the same thing as every other relationship you're in. But if you dive in deep and you get to know your inner self, you do that shadow work and you figure out, oh, maybe I have a hard time opening up because when I was 13 years old, I went to see a counselor for, a certain reason, and I told them everything that was, making me do certain things. I opened up, I shared my feelings with them. I told them, that this kid was bullying me and so on and so forth, and and they laughed at me, right? Well, that would be a traumatic experience for a 13-year-old to open up to somebody who was supposed to help them, and they get laughed at. Therefore, when they go into relationships in the future, they will most likely have a hard time opening up. So, inner work is basically what this card is meaning. Like, she has learned how to tame her inner beast with love, affection, and compassion, right? And if it's in reverse, that's meaning you haven't figured out how to tame your inner beast, right? Or it could mean that, you're not showing your inner self enough love, compassion, and affection in order to heal yourself. That maybe you're looking at yourself like, oh, there's something wrong with you because your counselor laughed at you when you were 13. You must be, pathetic, or whatever, right? If that's how you're looking at yourself, we're being told that is wrong. Like, you can't look at yourself like that. You need to have compassion, affection, and love towards yourself, your inner self especially. If you don't love your inner self, even if it is dark, then how can you go into any other relationship and love them or all of their dark parts, right? So, with that being said, we'll move on to our attitude towards this whole situation being the Three of Swords. Heartbreak, disappointment, letdown, what you need to ask yourself is, where is this hurt coming from? What lessons can you take from this hurt, right? It's a journey of your mind and of your heart. Maybe the situation wasn't meant for you. Or maybe you were meant to look at it a different way. So that's our attitude towards the situation. And from what I'm taking from this, the reading might be about our view on relationships in the first place. Maybe you don't want to find love because you've always been hurt in the past. Maybe you don't want to open up to somebody new because every time you open up to somebody, they find a way to break your heart. Every time you have given your all to somebody, you've only known disappointment, right? Archangels, spirit guides, ancestors of light, please help me pull the cards that you want known tonight. Ancestors, archangels, spirit guides of the light, please help me pull the cards you would like known tonight. King of Swords, This is our environment that we're currently in.
Get that boy, come back here.
With it being the environment, the card itself means is usually, somebody that's not taking a lot of emotions into making the decision, using his mind. I might end up clarifying that. Archangels, spirit guides, ancestors of the light, help me pull cards you would like me to know tonight, or you would like us to know tonight. The collective, which cards would you like us to know? The Hanged Man. This is hopes and fears. Ugh. Okay, you're in a period of stillness, limbo, and being called to change your perspective. Don't get comfortable just hanging around. Find the good in the bad, and see everything from what you can learn from it, and have a readjustment period. So with that being your hopes and fears, maybe you don't trust yourself, right? You don't trust yourself to make this decision. You have a hard time finding good in the bad. It's also female energy. Are you having a hard time looking at things from a different perspective? Or you're afraid to just be back in a limbo or stillness? You're afraid of heartbreak, and then that period of stillness afterward. Spirit guides, ancestors, archangels of the light, please help me pull cards you want us to know. The Tower. And that's the final outcome. Okay, so typically the Tower happens when you've been told by the universe to do a certain thing, and you didn't heed the universe's, you didn't heed their advice. You didn't do the thing they asked you to do, the thing it asked you to do. And so basically the universe has to take the situation into its own hands and cause some kind of tower moment in your life that literally crumbles the foundation that you have built everything upon. Okay? Sorry. Dropping cards.
Looks like a rabbit.
everything that you felt was foundational will literally crumble if you stay on this course of action. Obviously, it doesn't have to happen if you change your actions in order to prevent this from happening. But if you stay on this course, there will be a tower moment in the final outcome. Let me clarify some cards to figure out what this situation is. Okay, so the situation, the person in the situation was an Ace of Cups, which is a divine gift from the universe to you in some kind of form of emotions, whether that be love, or something of the heart, imagination, or feelings, taking it as it's a gift of love. Maybe it could be a possible insight of something in your heart, but I'm seeing it as love. Then the thing that is affecting it, now it could be affecting it in good or bad way, is the Wheel of Fortune, which is your karmic wheel. It could be good luck or it be bad luck, right? That depends on your decisions and your actions. And what you're conscious of is the different options that you have, and you realize that just because something looks good doesn't mean it actually is good, right? What you don't know yet, your subconscious, is the Lover's card. Maybe you don't know or have the knowledge that Eve had at that moment that she ate the fruit. Maybe you don't quite know what is affecting the way that you make certain decisions in your life, right? You haven't quite done all your shadow work, and that's in your subconscious. Your subconscious, meaning the things that you don't quite know. So you don't quite know why it is that you're manifesting certain things into your life because you haven't done the shadow work needed in order to figure out what makes you tick. The near past was being new to everything, having waves of emotions, trying to figure everything out, right? And in your near future, you're learning how to tame your inner beast, your inner emotions, with love, affection, and compassion. He's in the bedroom with me. He's being okay. Your attitude towards the situation is feeling heartbroken, disappointed, scared even. Okay. Making more sense. The environment that you're in currently is a place that has little emotions around it. It's all of intellect, the mind. Not a lot of imagination. Your hopes and your fears is the Hanged Man. And that's limbo and its stillness. Changing your perspective. Finding good in the bad and seeing everything for what you can learn from it. So, your hopes or your fears is being in a state of limbo or stillness, not knowing how to change your perspective, or finding good in the bad. Or maybe it's the readjustment period in itself. And then the final outcome is the Tower, which is the universe taking control of your life and causing a tower moment in order for you to start over. So I take it back. I don't think it's a relationship. I think it is a matter of the situation in itself being the universe is offering you a gift of love to yourself, right? Loving yourself. Figuring out how to love yourself. And this is the process. And, if you don't get to that point where you can learn how to love yourself, the universe is going to make you learn how to love yourself by causing this tower moment in your life. That's what I'm picking up from this. Remember not to get too overwhelmed, because when you dive deep into your shadow self, you're never going to see anything that your body can't handle, that your mind can't handle. The universe is never going to let you see anything that you're not ready to see, right? So maybe you're scared to dive in deep and do your shadow work, because maybe you think, maybe I don't remember that certain thing because it was so traumatic and I'm not going to be able to handle it. But that's not the case, because if that were the case, the universe would only let you see a little part of it. And then you would be able to work through that part. And eventually you would be able to see the whole picture, right? So don't get too afraid to dive in deep and do that shadow work. Because doing that shadow work is what's going to help change your life. It's going to be literally what helps you manifest everything you've ever wanted. I think I'm going to leave the reading at that, because I truly feel like that's what it was about. The universe giving you a gift of loving yourself. the Wheel of Fortune is what directly affects the gift from the universe of loving yourself, and that is your karmic wheel, your decisions, your choices affecting whether or not you receive good or bad luck. And then you knowing you have plenty of choices and options in life, but you not knowing quite how to dig in deep, or you not knowing what those shadow aspects are of yourself, and having this newness in the near past of trying to figure out everything, maybe being a little overwhelmed by everything that you are figuring out, and then in the future learning how to tame your own inner beast, right? And then your attitude towards the whole situation is heartbreak. Obviously, if you've had a hard life, you've had a lot of traumatic experiences, you're going to be afraid to dig in and figure out what all those traumatic experiences were, especially if you have them in your subconscious, if your body has buried them away so that you don't remember them because they were so traumatic at the time. You could be scared and thinking that, maybe if I dig in deep, this could ruin my whole life. If it was so traumatic then, what makes it untraumatic now? Or, maybe diving in deep and learning what that traumatic experience was will then create a new traumatic experience. Thinking, doing so much freaking thinking that you're almost talking yourself out of it. Or you're doing so much thinking that you're scaring yourself, and when you dive in deep, when you start your meditation, that gives you a block. That's your environment. It's blocking you thinking so much and you putting so much energy into being afraid of getting in and doing that shadow work. And, then being afraid of whatever the outcome would be from doing that shadow work. Being afraid of, seeing whatever it is that happened to you could cause serious, stillness or limbo in your life. Or just like being afraid of, having to do that readjustment period of after you've learned what all those traumatic experiences were, what that could do to you in the future. Like, will it cause you to, like I said, have even more traumatic experiences or whatnot? And then the final outcome being this tower moment, it could be that because of these traumatic experiences that you had in your life, not knowing quite what they were, that when you do finally dig in deep and do that shadow work and figure out what it is that's been causing you to live this way, to manifest these things, maybe you break down the very foundation that has been causing all of your bad luck. Maybe that's the tower moment. Maybe you finally break free from all of the things you've been taught that maybe weren't right, or the things you were saying about yourself that weren't true. Low self-esteem and stuff like that usually lead back to somebody in your past making you feel that way. Maybe you learning how that situation really happened changes the entire way you see yourself. This reading is about self-love. If you have any questions, if you have any advice, please comment. I hope you enjoyed this new moon reading. I'm sorry it took a little bit to get there, but we finally figured it out. And I hope you guys have a great week, and do that inner shadow work, guys. You will not regret it.